Before getting too far ahead of myself with the interior, I wanted to fabricate my DIY plywood strip flooring and install it in the bus. I used 1/4 inch thick birch plywood in my ongoing quest to keep those floors thin, maximizing the headroom in the bus. I ripped the sheets in half first, then started making my strips, which were just under 4 inches wide. Now all this highly repetitive work gave me time to think, and my mind kept wandering back to those guys who used to be transported on the prison bus.
Hey fellas, what if I told you that someday a guy would be making nice new plywood flooring for this bus?
Alright, now with the boards all ripped, they needed to be chamfered, taking off the hard edges on the top sides. I did this on my router, which I had built into my table saw cart a couple of years ago. And I quickly realized that I was not only making boards here, but also giant piles of sawdust. And here's a look at the boards, all finished up and ready to go in the bus. So with stage 1 of the job complete, there was more repetition on tap. Glue, nail, measure, cut. Now that day I got about 1/4 of the flooring done, but the next day Melissa came out to help with the floors. She positioned herself with the saw, and this wasn't her first rodeo. That picture in the corner there is from when we built our house together a few years back, and in that project Melissa cut just about every stick of wood in the house. So with her whipping things out at the saw, the floor started going in so much faster. Now, if you've been watching my videos about this bus, you'll note that I've been working to maintain access to the fuel sending unit back at the fuel tank. So I floored that access door separately, and in a future video I'll show you the flange I'm fabricating to hold that little door in place. And then before I knew it, I was finishing up the floor and laying the last board. With the floor in place, Melissa also helped fill in the 10 million little brad holes. I should mention that she's an avid knitter and spinner. What I call tedious, she calls relaxing. We developed a pretty good method where she gooped up the holes and I smeared the filler in while scooting backwards on my stomach. I'm not sure where I came up with that one. The wood filler dried overnight and it was time to sand. This is a water-based polyurethane tinted chestnut, but to me it looked more like light salmon. With the first coat down, a few hours later, it was ready to be sanded, vacuumed. And then I applied layer 1 of 4 of a clear polyurethane. And here are some now and earlier shots of this floor project. I think it's coming along.